Dear students, can you see the slide?
Yes, sir, can.
Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon. How are you?
Walaikum salam. Sir, we
We
are
are
fine.
fine,
Ji.
sir.
What about you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine and hope you are well by the grace of Almighty Allah. I'd like to welcome you all to my class, and our today's topic is Traffic Capital of the World. Unit number 7, lesson number 2, and page number 87. Okay, so let's start. But before starting the main lesson, just after hearing the topic of the lesson, Traffic Capital of the World, the name of which city comes to your mind?
Sir, Dhaka.
Yeah, obviously. And this lesson is about Dhaka city. Okay. Actually,
Yes, sir.
this lesson has been taken from an article written by a foreigner named Michael Hobbs. And he wrote an article titled Welcome to the Traffic Capital of the World. And this lesson has been adapted from that article. Okay. So let's start our today's lesson. I'm in a tiny steel cage attached to a motorcycle startering through traffic in Dhaka, Bangladesh. So the writer is in a tiny steel cage attached to a motorcycle. So from this description, can you guess in which vehicle the writer is in? Can you guess the name of the vehicle? Which vehicle looks like a tiny steel cage attached to a motorcycle? Yeah, can anyone answer?
Sir, rickshaw.
Perhaps you can't. No. So just wait a minute, we'll get the answer. Okay. So there are two words. Tiny, tiny means very small, and attached means joined or connected. There is another word, stuttering. Actually, in Bangla, this word means totlanon. Okay, but in this particular context, it means happening in a way that is not regular. For example, sometimes moving and sometimes not. Or you can say faltering. In the last 10 minutes, we have moved forward maybe 3 feet, inch by inch. Okay, in the last 10 minutes, they have moved forward only 3 feet. The driver wrenching the wheel left and right, wriggling deeper into the waist between the delivery truck and the rickshaw in front of us. Wrenching means twisting suddenly and violently. Actually, the driver was trying to get out of that jam. But ultimately, what happened? He got stuck in between a delivery truck and a rickshaw. Up ahead, the traffic is jammed so close together that pedestrians are climbing over pickup trucks and through empty rickshaws to cross the street. Okay? Perhaps you can remember the meaning of the word pedestrian. I told you in the previous class. Can you remember? What's the meaning of the word pedestrian? Pothachari, good. People who are walking rather than traveling in a vehicle. Okay? 2 rows to my left is an ambulance, blue light spinning uselessly. Suddenly, the writer noticed an ambulance, and its blue light was spinning uselessly. Actually, nobody was able to give it a little bit space to go through. Okay? This is what the streets here look like from 7 o'clock in the morning until 10 o'clock at night. And this is a daily occurrence in Dhaka city. If you are rich, you experience it from the back seat of a car. If you are poor, you are in a rickshaw, breathing in the exhaust. Actually, it doesn't matter whether you are poor or you are rich, you have to experience this terrible traffic jam in Dhaka city, okay? But if you are poor, you will experience it from the backseat of your car. And if you are rich, you will experience it from the backseat of your car. And if you are poor, you will be in a rickshaw or you will be in a car, in a bus, and you will breathe in the exhaust. Exhaust means waste gases or air expelled from an engine. I'm sitting in the back of a CNG. So perhaps now you have got the name of the vehicle. Okay, actually, he has described CNG in that way. A three-wheeled motorcycle shaped like a slice of pie and covered with scrap metal. So just see in which way the writer has described this particular vehicle, CNG. The writer thinks that the CNG looks like a slice of pie. Okay, now what is a pie? Actually, pie is a baked dish of fruit or meat and vegetables, typically with a top and base of pastry. Can you see the picture here?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Can.
sir.
This is the picture of a pie. And can you see the slice? Can you see the
Yes,
slice
sir.
of pie?
Yes, sir.
According to the writer, a CNG looks like this one. Because the writer thinks that CNG has got triangular shape like this one. Okay, I'm here working on a human rights project, but whenever I ask people in Dhaka what they think international organizations should really be working on, they tell me about the traffic. The writer, Michael Hobbs, he's working here on a human rights project, and that's why he has to talk to a lot of people. And whenever he talks to people, most of the time people tells him that international organizations should really be working on alleviating traffic congestion or traffic jam in Dhaka city. Alleviating traffic congestion is one of the major development challenges of our time, and it is one of the major development challenges. Now you can see alleviate means lessen or reduce. Okay, alleviate means lessen or reduce. In Bangla, you can say laghov kora ba uposhom kora. Then there is another word that's congestion. Congestion means overcrowding or jam. Okay. Half of the world's population already lives in cities, and the United Nations estimates that the proportion will rise to nearly 70% by 2050. Half of the world's population lives in cities, and by 2050, about 70% people will live in city areas. Okay, proportion means percentage. Dhaka, the world's densest and fastest growing city, is a case study in how this problem got so bad and why it's so difficult to solve. Now you know that Dhaka is the densest city in the world. Now what does the word densest mean? Can anyone tell? What does the word dense mean?
ঘনত্ব
Actually, it means ঘনবসতিপূর্ণ. Dhaka's infrastructure doesn't match the scale of its population. The infrastructure that we have in Dhaka actually doesn't match with the scale of its population. Infrastructure means obokatamo, the basic physical and organizational structure and facilities. For example, buildings, roads, okay? Just 7% of the city is covered by roads, compared with around 25% of Paris and Vienna. In developed cities like Paris, Vienna, 25% is kept for roads. But in case of Dhaka city, it's just 7%. Dhaka also suffers from the absence of a planned road network. There is also lack of a planned road network. There are 650 major intersections, but only 60 traffic lights, many of which don't work. Actually, in Dhaka city, there are 650 intersections. Intersection means crossing or junction. Okay, 650 road crossings, but there are only 60 traffic lights and many of them don't work. That means the police force isn't enforcing driving or parking rules. Actually, police force is supposed to enforce driving or parking rules. Enforce means to cause a law or rule to be obeyed. Okay, mante baddho kora. They are in the intersections directing traffic. Actually, perhaps you have noticed that most of the cases we see traffic police standing in the intersections. Okay, have you noticed? Have you noticed any traffic police standing in the intersection and directing traffic? That means
Yes,
whether the
sir.
vehicle is to stop or go to
Yes,
the left
sir.
or the right.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I know.
The cost of Dhaka's traffic congestion is estimated at $3.8 billion a year. And that's just the delays and air pollution, not the less tangible losses in quality of life. In a survey, it is found that estimate means roughly calculate or just the value. In a survey, it is found that the amount of loss because of traffic congestion or traffic jam in Dhaka city is $3.8 billion a year. Okay, and that's just the delays and air pollution, and they haven't included less tangible losses in quality of life. Tangible means substantial or concrete. Paradoxically, the poor infrastructure is one of the reasons why the city is growing so fast. Paradoxically, this word means আপাত দৃষ্টিতে স্ববিরোধী, okay? You can also say self-contradictory in a seemingly absurd or self-contradictory way. Without roads or trains to whisk them to the suburbs, Dhaka's residents have no choice but to crowd into the middle, set up slums between high rises, and walk to work. You can see there are two important words here. Whisk means move somewhere suddenly and quickly. Okay, move somewhere suddenly and quickly. And suburb means in Bangla uposhohor. Okay, uposhohor, an area on the edge of a large town or city where people who work in town or city often live. Now, just imagine if a person works at Motiz Hill, can he stay in Gazipur and do his regular office at Motiz Hill each and every day? Is it easy for him?
No, sir.
No, actually, it's really difficult because there is no high-speed trains here, okay, or there is not high-speed road here. So that's why Dhaka residents have got no choice, but they have to crowd into the middle and they have to walk to work. Then there are the users of the roads. Besides pedestrians, the narrow lanes are shared by bicycles, rickshaws, scooters, motorcycles, CNGs, buses, and cars. You know that. In Dhaka city, the roads are very narrow. Okay, the roads are very narrow. They are not spacious, and these narrow roads are shared by pedestrians, bicycles, like rickshaws, scooters, motorcycles, CNGs. Okay, that means all sorts of vehicles. All these modes take up a different amount of space and have different top speeds. Most people you talk to in Bangladesh blame the traffic jams on rickshaws, and if you talk to people, most of the people blame rickshaws for traffic jams in Dhaka city. There are too many of them, they say, and they drive so slowly that they trap the cars, buses, the CNGs behind them. Okay, you know that rickshaws drive so slowly, and that's why whenever they are on the roads, they trap the cars, buses, CNGs behind them, and this causes traffic jam. The government is under pressure to designate some lanes as car only, to build wider roads and overpasses, to take the slow traffic out from in front of the fast. Actually, the government is under pressure to solve this problem, and they are under pressure to designate some lanes as car only. Designate means to say officially that a place or thing has a particular purpose. Okay, that means to fix some lanes for only cars, to build wider roads or overpasses, and This brings us to the third reason why the traffic problem is so difficult to solve. All these fixes sound easy and obvious, but they come at a cost. Obvious means clear and self-evident. So to you, it may seem that all these fixes are very easy and they are very obvious, but actually they are not. They come at a cost. And what is that cost? 1.5 million people drive rickshaws for a living. In Dhaka city, there are about 1.5 million rickshaw pullers here, plus another few 100,000 own and repair them. Government efforts to get people out of rickshaws and into buses and trains are going to attract huge opposition. So if government ban rickshaws in Dhaka city, what will happen to these people? Okay, so that's why it's going to attract huge opposition. Opposition means resistance. Even increasing bus capacity is more complicated than it sounds. In 2009, World Bank analysis found 60 separate bus companies in Dhaka. In 2009, World Bank conducted a survey in Dhaka city and they found 60 bus companies working here in Dhaka city. Since the bus companies compete with one another, the drivers have every incentive to drive aggressively and take more passengers than the buses can hold. You know that. The bus companies always compete with one another. Okay, there is a competition. And that's why they try to drive aggressively. They try to drive roughly. Okay, or recklessly, you can say. And they try to take more passengers than the buses can hold. There is a word that incentive. Incentive means a thing that motivates or encourages someone to do something. Okay. What's more, the public transport isn't all that public. Okay, this is another important point. You'll notice that the public transport isn't all that public. Many of the bus companies are owned or linked to political parties or powerful trade unions. If you notice closely, you'll find that most of the bus companies are owned or linked to either political parties or powerful trade unions. Government efforts to unify or regularize the system would amount to a hostile takeover of all these small companies. So when government tries to unify the whole system or regularize the whole system, actually, government faces hostile condition from these companies, from these small companies. The obvious solution is to separate the rickshaws from the cars, from the CNGs, give each of them lanes and lights according to their top speed, and crucially, make car drivers pay the cost of taking up more space on the roads. So there may be a solution. What is the solution? The solution is to give separate lanes for different types of vehicles. Okay. For example, giving a lane for rickshaws and giving another lane for CNGs, then motorcycles, and giving another lane for cars. Okay. And there may be another solution, that is making car drivers pay the cost of taking up more space on the roads. That means imposing more taxes on the car drivers. But that, politically speaking, is unrealistic. But if you think politically, this is unrealistic. Unrealistic means obastov. What is the reason? The reason is that car owners are a small part of the population, but they are the most influential. Influential means having great influence on someone or something. Prabhavshali. You know that car owners are a small part of the population, but they are the most influential people. Okay. Every year, Dhaka adds an extra 37,000 cars to its already overcrowded roads. And on top of that, in each and every year, Dhaka adds extra 37,000 cars to its already overcrowded roads. Think about all this from a Bangladeshi politician's point of view. So just try to think the whole matter from a Bangladeshi politician's point of view. Any attempt to solve the traffic mess means this particular word means a situation that is confused and full of problems. You can say problem. So any attempt to solve the traffic problem means annoying the poor, the middle class, and the rich all at once. So this is really problematic. Annoy means make a little angry or irritate. Thanks to the donors, in 2012, the government announced a $2.75 billion plan to build a metro rail system and $45 million bus rapid transit line from the airport. Perhaps you have noticed, haven't you? A metro rail system is being built in Dhaka city. Have you noticed that one?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Sir,
the work is under progress, okay? Okay, the work is under progress. For residents of Dhaka, it will come as a relief. And when the project is completed or when the projects are over, it will come as a relief for the people of Dhaka. Whenever I asked my Bangladeshi colleagues how long it would take to get somewhere, they always gave two answers. And whenever Michael Hobbs, this person, asked any of his Bangladeshi colleagues how long it would take to get somewhere, for example, he asked any of his Bangladeshi colleagues how long it would take to go to Dhanmondi. His colleagues always gave two answers. Without traffic, maybe 15 minutes. But with traffic, who knows? So if there is no traffic there, it may take 15 minutes to reach there. But if there is traffic or if there is heavy traffic, it may take 1 hour, it may take 2 hours, or it may take 3 hours as well. So this is the condition of traffic jam in Dhaka city. So that's the end of the lesson. Now let me summarize the whole lesson at first. Dhaka is one of the densest and fastest growing cities in the world. This lesson tells us about the unbearable traffic jams in Dhaka city. Here, we get a foreigner's view on the traffic system. During traffic jam, people have to suffer much. They have to move inch by inch. They have to wait on the roads hours after hours. There are many reasons behind this. The ever increasing number of vehicles and overpopulation are the main reasons. So what are the main reasons? Increasing number of vehicles and overpopulation. There is another reason. What is that? The roads of Dhaka city are not spacious. They are very narrow. Okay. Only 7% of Dhaka city is covered by roads compared to about 25% of Paris and Vienna. It is not adequate. Besides, rickshaws, private cars, public transports are also responsible for traffic jam here. If anyone gets stuck in traffic jam, he does not know when he is going to reach home. But it is a matter of relief that the government has already taken some steps to solve this problem in Dhaka city. Now, can you see some questions here?
yes, sir.
Today we are not going to solve any multiple choice questions. Okay, we'll solve two open-ended questions here. So look at the open-ended questions. Answer the following questions. Number A, why does the author think Dhaka's traffic congestion is difficult to solve? Please try to answer. Why does the author think Dhaka's traffic congestion is difficult to solve? Please try to answer. You can take help from your text.
Sir, because the roads are too narrow.
Actually, is it the answer? I think no. Try to understand the question properly. Why does the author think Dhaka's traffic congestion is difficult to solve? Okay, I'm giving you a clue. Open page number
Because Dhaka's infrastructure
88.
doesn't match the skill of its population.
Okay, I'm giving you a hint. Open page number 88 and move to fourth number para. Okay, you can see a line here. And this brings us to the third reason why the traffic problem is so difficult to solve. All these fixes sound easy and obvious, but they come at a cost. This is one thing. Another thing, look at page number 89.
Because there are
You can see, look at the second para here. Think about all this from a Bangladeshi politician's point of view in the attempt to solve the traffic mess, means having the poor, the middle class, and the rich all at once. So you have to combine these things to answer the question. Now try to answer the question. It's quite strange that no one is able to answer. Okay, should I answer then? Should I answer?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Actually, you can answer in this way. The author thinks Dhaka's traffic congestion is difficult to solve because any attempt to solve traffic mess means having the poor, the middle class, and the rich all at once. Besides, though these fixes sound easy and obvious, they come at a cost. You can add this line with the previous one. Okay, this way you can answer. Now, what about the second one? What are the arguments given for banning rickshaws? Ban means nishiddho kora. Okay, so what are the arguments given for banning rickshaws? Can't you answer? Should I answer this one as well?
Sir, 1.5 million people এখান থেকে হবে না?
No, actually, the question is what are the arguments given for? For means
So
পক্ষে.
what is the
Given
meaning of
for
banning?
banning rickshaws. Ban means নিষিদ্ধ করা.
It's because rickshaws are the very slow vehicles and trap the
Good, good.
cars
Rickshaws are
and other
very slow
vehicles
vehicle.
in them.
Good, very good. The arguments given for banning rickshaws are that they are very slow vehicle and they trap the cars, buses, and CNGs behind them. Besides, most of the people in Dhaka blame rickshaws for traffic jam. Okay, you can add this line as well. Yeah. So that's the end of our today's lecture. Thank you so much.
Welcome, sir.